listening to some people talk about it, and their assessments kind of like the same as mine, right? So like, you know, the really impressive thing was Canelo was walking Triple G back, right? Mm-hmm. He met him in the middle of the ring, and which is what you want, and but Canelo, you know, to me was winning the scorecard, right? Pretty handedly. Act 1 and 2.
The only way I was keeping up with it was like I would Google like Canelo Triple G updates, and CBS had like a little thing, like a round counter, I guess. And it was even. They said it was even for the most part, and then like after round 6, it was just like Triple G all the way, and I was like, oh shit, well he must have turned it on or something.
Well, it's like, yeah, for sure. So Triple G, you know, came in and he won some rounds after that, right? And the thing though is that like Triple G had Canelo like faded at moments where it's like even if Canelo was winning the scorecard, like like a few shots towards the end, it was like Canelo like blinked like hoof. Yeah. So even though Triple G didn't look very good, like, you know, like he was getting with the jab because that's all he could do. Yeah. You know, he was put into a counter position for like the first time in his life.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, man, fucking Canelo was just capitalizing on every open spot that Triple G was giving up. Dude, Canelo was throwing some mean fucking hits. Like,
yeah, it was definitely a fight to behold, and it's like,
yeah, I'm upset Triple G lost, but it was a really good fight. Like,
oh yeah, I mean, and part of me wants him to do it again, but another part of me is like, at the same time, it's like each reiteration is more and more against Triple G. Yeah, you know, he's
old.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying. Yeah, that's 30, why I said I think
he's
Canelo's
36.
gonna win.
Yeah.
So, do you think there will be a sequel?
I think it makes the most monetary sense for Triple G. Triple G's not gonna have, like, he's got what? Like, he's no longer like the boogeyman.
He's not gonna have bigger fight.
Right.
Bigger fight than this.
So he's got Canelo, and Canelo still has up and comers who can make names for themselves and be rivals. Again, he has another one for sure, maybe 2.
He just has a different trajectory.
Yeah. Yeah. And
needs a sequel.
Yeah.
You know what doesn't?
I think needs a sequel is Sandro, which is a sequel to Yojimbo.
Okay.
I shoehorned that one in.
I was gonna say something completely different.
Okay, well, no, go for it.
I'm gonna say the Pacquiao fight doesn't need a sequel.
That's
not what we're talking.
That's a big yes. I'm just gonna sit there and like hate watch it.
Yeah, me too.
Like, oh, this is so dumb. and then just make like boatloads of food for everybody. Spend like $200 like I normally do. Just like,
complain about it the whole time.
Yeah, so dumb.
Just what's the point?
You know what I didn't hate watch?
What?
Yojimbo.
Yo,
Jimbo.
Hey,
Jimbo.
Oh! Good job, guys.
It's Jimmy Neutron's dad calling him from inside the house.
I hated Jimmy Neutron. I hate the way it looked. What did you guys think?
Jimmy Neutron? I did not like the Jimmy Neutron aesthetic.
Yeah,
it was pretty.
I like the show. It was
pretty ugly.
Animated really ugly.
Yeah, well, and there was also something about like how it was spatially that was uncomfortable. If you can remember it, you know?
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I remember is each character had it was like a video game almost. They had their own scripts, like background characters. And I remember specifically, for some reason, there would always be a character in the background that kind of just would let out a sigh and then shake their head like that.
Oh yeah. And
I was like, what the fuck? I know. And I was like 9 years old.
They'd drop their shoulders and
I was like 9 years old and I was like, this sucks. This is bullshit.
Oh, but they had Bobby. Clap, 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 slap, 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 clap, clap. And that's kind of sad for me to say because I was like 15 or 14 when that shit came out.
Well, that's the thing about it, right? Like 3D animated films on TV. I mean, 3D animated stuff on TV. It's like, it's weird because it's probably cheaper than making a 2D cartoon.
It's strange, but it is.
Yeah,
anyway. You know, that's all film related.
Yeah. We can talk about whatever.
But Jimmy Neutron.
It's cool.
Jimmy Neutron. doesn't deserve to go into the canon of great TV shows in America.
Yeah. No.
Not even like Boy Genius TV show canon.
I think
not even. Yeah, not even.
Like a kid's like comedy show of that era. I feel like Courage the Cowardly Dog and SpongeBob go in.
Yeah.
What else?
Like,
I would probably
Courage the Cowardly Dog is like
that's like a Homer pick for me.
Is the highbrow pick.
Yeah.
It like does.
I know a lot of people hated it.
Yeah, well, they're idiots, but I'm not like I didn't watch it like prolifically. My older brother did, and he would hand select as an adult episodes.
Yeah,
so he's like, watch this one.
It's good.
I'd be like, oh, cool. This whole one's a reference to Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
Oh, this one's a reference to some Hitchcock movie. Like, they're really cool.
Oh yeah.
And like the soundtrack for the score for it was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And Courage the Cowardly Dog is really good. And SpongeBob is like Seinfeld.
Yeah. It's just a really well-rounded show.
Yeah, it's just
unfortunately
ubiquitous.
It's still going and it's lost that, but
Yeah.
I like Ed, Ed and Eddie a lot, but I would not put that in the same tier.
No, not at all.
Ed, Ed and Eddie
it is the lowest.
It's like it's a lot more fringe than even something like Courage the Cowardly Dog could be. Like, you know what I mean? Because Courage the Cowardly Dog does give off that vibe, but Ed, Ed and Eddie's just a different beast. Because like
Ed, and Eddie is like
it's a fever dream.
It's bad and it's good. It's good in the way that it's true to itself.
Mm.
It doubles down on stupidity.
Yeah, it has its own cohesive style and logic and the way it tells stories.
Well, that's exactly. It's not just it's like calculated randomness.
Yeah, it's true to it. It has a style and it's an ugly style. Mm-hmm. So, in
like
writing,
the boiling outlines
and the drawing, it's
that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's funny because you look at like the Japanese cartoons of these two times, right, that are marketed towards children, and so you have something like like Pokemon, or I'm trying to remember another one. I can't remember, but specifically marketed for kids, and they're drawn as cute as possible. Yeah. And then you look at what a 9-year-old in the U.S. is watching when it comes out, and it is Ren and Stimpy, Ed, Ed and Eddie. And it's like it's anti.
Yeah, like early 2000s, late 90s, like Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network, they were really experimental with
they were
stuff.
transgressive.
Like Cat and Dog, that could not fly. Like
no.
Like what?
I don't remember that show being that crazy.
Cow and Chicken.
Well, I mean, Cow and Chicken was
but not even just
not
even just in style, but I mean in like just general idea. Like it's way out of left field, and like who would think that a main character would be a dog and a cat that share an ass? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
even that, yeah.
Like just the premise of it is
it was
really
a frontier, and people
Angry
were exploring
Beavers.
pioneers.
Beavers, Rocko's Modern Life.
It's just all dead. It's gone.
What?
The American Dream.
What? I don't know about all that, but speaking of Japanese,
speaking of dead
Western comparisons.
Yes.
So, did you know that this movie Yojimbo was a send-up to the American Western?
Yeah.
From Akira Kurosawa. So there were American Westerns before. So it's cool because the American Western, in its classic category, say Golden Age, Silver Age, Golden Age coming before, Silver Age coming afterward, are divided by Yojimbo.
Huh.
And everything that came of it.
Well,
so,
I was going to say, my knowledge on this is limited, but like, I feel like from what I've seen, Yojimbo was a bigger inspiration to, at the time, spaghetti westerns, so Italian cinema.
Right, and which then influences the American Western.
Right, yeah.
So you have the pre-Yojimbo, which is the white cowboy hat, right? Goody
What year was
Two
True
Shoes.
Grit?
I'm not sure. I think True Grit was the 60s. It's in color.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's what I think of when I think of just like...
Classic American
just
Western.
like totally mild cowboy movie, you know?
So
Shane.
So what would you say, like, let's say if the split was Yojimbo.
Right.
What's the big before Yojimbo and big after Yojimbo?
The big after is Fistful of Dollars.
Yeah, the good, bad, and the ugly.
Which is Fistful of Dollars is literally Yojimbo.
Yojimbo,
Yeah.
So what's a really big movie that would have been before it?
Shane.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole Dollars trilogy is
right. And so like Yojimbo comes out, and some other Akira Kurosawa things, which in turn influence Italian directors making Western movies, the spaghetti westerns, which in turn influence every American Western that ever comes afterwards, going all the way to Unforgiven. And so in the middle is a Japanese movie, Yojimbo, but it's like completely Western in presentation. Even like the town is a Western, right?
That's what I wanted. I actually wanted to ask you, because I know you have pretty expansive knowledge on like feudal Japan stuff. Self-proclaimed, maybe, but we'll see. Let's see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Like expansive is your word.
Okay,
so it is pretty.
Was feudal Japan as like untamed and wild as what he depicted it as?
Okay, so parts of that are very accurate in my understanding.
Because like without the tumbleweeds, that's a Western.
Yeah, no, it completely is. So a big thing, especially, you know, how you have the imperial. So Japan was an empire, right? So you had a strong centralized form of government during the Tokugawa shogunate.
See, this is why I asked.
And so the Tokugawa shogunate was a dynasty, right? And it was the dynasty that lasted the longest in Japanese history, I believe. So from the point of the Sengoku era, which was their like 100 years of civil war, and that's where all like the badass, large-scale, epic samurais, horses charging into muskets and spears and sieging castles. That's all the Sengoku, followed by a few hundred-year period of relative peace. That's the actually the time at which this movie takes place.
Okay.
Yeah, but a lot of samurai movies take place during this time because the samurai movies don't focus so much on the epic scale battles, but there are some Akira Kurosawa films that do, which are definitely worth watching.
Well, I don't know if this is one of them, but I just bought Seven Samurai.
Seven Samurai takes place during the Sengoku.
But it's still not like an army thing, is it? It's more like they're defending a town.
Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it. I was going to come out some.
I haven't seen it yet.
So that's what I'll get to it. So Seven Samurai is like, you know, there's so much civil war in Japan, and like militaries, there's like all these sub-markets, you know, of mercenaries and bandits who kind of prey on the edge of towns. You know, say a whole group of soldiers leaves a province and it's ripe for the picking. That's kind of the setting that Seven Samurai takes place. And so, like, what you're asking about, you know, the lawlessness, it's like, you know, there was actually a pretty strong rule of law during the Tokugawa shogunate, but you did have, like, much like the American West, when you get to the frontiers and you get further and further away from Edo, right? You get like where it becomes easier and easier to like bribe the one federal official that visits you a year. Like, oh, how are they doing all the way in bumfucking nowhere? Oh, they're cool, fine, man. Yeah,
flip them a coin.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, like I feel like, and especially I feel like some of the maybe not so directly hinted at thing about Yojimbo that I like and that I do like about some samurai movies is that it's not so much about the samurais themselves, it's about the end of the samurai. And I feel like they sort of touch on that a little bit in this movie. Like, you know, at the end he fights a gun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
it's like anachronistic.
Yeah,
but he fucking wins.
No, yeah,
it's true.
but still, like I like that kind of stuff where that sort of lawlessness is sort of dying away, and I feel like even some Western cinema, or even like some Western stuff touches on that.
Literally, what makes Red Dead Redemption such an incredible game.
It's the end of that period.
And you know what? That's probably a big influence on Westerns following Akira Kurosawa, is to take from those samurai movies, you know, dealing with the end of the samurai, or their inevitability that their way of life will come to an end.
Yeah.
Even if it's not this generation, it's going to be the next one or the one after. Yeah. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
It's some cool stuff. Like,
good pickup on that.
Good job, Dan.
Thank you.
I did want to bring up really. Well, one clap.
Yeah.
Over the summer, Jay and I were watching an anime called Trigun, which is like an anime about like cowboys, basically, more or less. But I'll simplify it to that. But like, I think we did a podcast after we finished it, and he was like, "What do you think about like the Japanese take on Western?" And I was like, "I never even thought about like that's their bread and butter."
Yeah.
Because the Westerns were inspired by samurai movies. Like, it's just so funny.
It's really cool. Like,
and it makes sense. To have this lone hero, it's just you have the lone hero in the American past and the lone hero in the Japanese past, and the different versions of them iterate either the ideas that, and I think it's more because the past is the past, but how we're showing it, that's the telling of the era of what it's made.
Yeah.
So in the era of conformity in the United States, it's like their version of Make America Great Again. Look at this. A time where, God damn it, a man was a man. And a man's got to do what a man's got to do, and armed society is a polite society, right? Then you have the Japanese samurai films that are like, that most of them were made in post-war Japan. So, well,
Toshiro Mifune is actually he was in the Air Force, I believe.
Damn.
Japanese Air Force.
Crazy. I actually didn't know.
I don't know if that's what it's called, but yeah, the Imperial Air Force or whatever it was.
Isn't it strange to think about World War II veterans as actors?
Well, especially someone on that side.
On the Axis, yeah.
Because, think about the orders some of those pilots were given.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what his role as a pilot, or if he was a pilot or not. But,
right.
Some people
in combat.
Some people were ordered to crash into ships. He made it through.
Yeah.
That's crazy, just to think about.
Oh yeah, and but I think about that too with German artists too.
Well, Italian too.
Like the whole generation of those men and women who came back and were making art, and it's our only way of understanding them is that one point in their life, World War II. But.
Fucking dog.
Yeah, here it is. It's yapping.
He's saying his favorite Akira Kurosawa film is Stray Dog.
No.
He's like, y'all talk about Stray Dog.
No, but yeah, it's and what I'll say is as important and as serious as this film is, one thing that I guess I do want to touch on is this movie's really funny. This movie's a lot more
comedy time. The comedic timing is down.
It's got great levity.
Yeah.
It's that's why Marvel films are so successful. Is because they have levity.
Yeah.
It's just that their levity is more cheap.
Yeah.
This is the better version, but both result in a watchable experience.
Well, yeah, and it's more extreme in those movies because it's extreme pressure and then release with some comedic quip by one of the characters.
Well, there's a lot undermining their own tension, which I don't really like.
Yeah, they're in the middle of a fight,
and that's why I hate Shane Black.
And
oh yeah, I'll have to wait for the new Predator.
I don't even care.
It's they're having they're having a shootout, and RDJ says something
I'll watch. I've seen every Alien. I've seen every Predator and every Alien versus Predator.
Nice.
Yeah. I have the emulator for the Alien versus Predator Capcom game. So they got my money. It's already, and I love Lethal Weapon, the first one, but no. So what made you interested in Akira Kurosawa, Chris?
I don't really remember, honestly. I just knew that it was he was a landmark director.
He's on a short list.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I think you said at one time your short list included him. I don't remember the other directors. Did you include Kubrick on there? Maybe.
Kubrick is on the definitive canon short list, but he's not on my subjective short list. Yeah, I wouldn't dare to say he's not on the short list. It's to me, it's Kubrick, Spielberg, Hitchcock, Kurosawa, and I'm trying to think if I can think of a Italian director, maybe Ingmar Bergman, and that's it. It's like that's the 5, you know. But so what I think is cool, what I was thinking, Chris, that I haven't told you, is I know that your favorite director is PTA, and I think that like There Will Be Blood is pretty Kurosawa-like. It's very common now for movies to have like painstakingly like attention to detail and human characters and setting, but Akira Kurosawa was completely revolutionary in that respect, and he was also regarded as like the most Western of Japanese directors, and that's not my own thing. I actually read that on a Criterion essay today, which like shout outs to Criterion Collection essays, because it's, you know, scholarly essays, you have to have like some bullshit subscription to something. Like that's
what JSTOR.
Yeah, like that shit. Like I miss that from college. I'd be like,
you do?
Well, I miss having like whatever access I had on the school's computers to be like,
you log in through the library,
like, and look at any dumb think piece on like Twin Peaks. You know, every single movie has the Virgin and the horror complex. It's like, okay, what do they got to say this time?
What can they add to the conversation?
Yeah.
What I'll say from my own piece, before I watched any Kurosawa film, this is the only actually Kurosawa film I've seen. There's a channel that, and me and Steven actually talked about this. There's a YouTube channel called Every Frame a Painting.
Yeah.
And his analysis on like Kurosawa is really cool. Like, and I feel like if you're gonna watch this movie, maybe take a look at this if you don't really know too much about movies. Not that we know a lot about movies, but
it's educational for everybody.
It definitely points you in the direction of what to look at.
Yeah.
Like what's impressive about it.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that opened my eyes to a lot of the stuff.
Like, oh yeah, like I love anybody who can do that shit. Like, okay, critically tell me, you know, say it's something very like mechanical, like MMA. There's this one channel, I forget, but they break down a knockout.
Yeah.
They take it, they show you slow. Okay, look, he's feinting this punch for 30 seconds before. He's conditioning him. Yeah. Look, you see how he drops his left hand? And then here it comes, boom. Or something that does that critically for like how, you know, how a video game is structured and why its feedback loop is so cool. Yeah, it points out
things that were so deliberately done, but you as a viewer, you don't even realize it until it's broken down.
Yeah.
And it's cool because even though it doesn't take up like your main thought, the movie would not be the same.
Yeah, it's your subconscious, definitely. Yeah.
And it's cool. Like let's say one of the things he touches on is movement. There's always movement in a scene, whether it's environmental movement, whether it's like exaggerated character movement, and like in the scenes when they're walking towards each other, much like, you know, when they have it's the wind,
the dust,
and
it is blowing. So advanced, and as far as cinematography goes for its time.
Yeah.
Watch Some Like It Hot, which is an American movie from the early 60s with Marilyn Monroe. Makes these movies look like shit, dude.
I was going to point out, like, if you compare another movie from that time period, 1961, I think, watch that. It looks like a sitcom.
Yeah.
Like, they just put a camera on a tripod and go.
Yep.
I mean, the detail and the like shot composition in his movies that I've seen is just stymieing.
The movement is incredible. There's a scene where they're emptying out the the whorehouse, and it's like from the roof, and it's following the lady of the house as she's like yelling at the girls to move, and it's incredible how it follows characters.
Yeah, and think about just like the direction too. Like in the first part where it looks like those two like factions are about to fight, he climbs up that tower and kind of like smiles as he's looking.
Yeah,
there's like 40 or 50 guys that are just like following direct. You know, it's really cool.
He does commotion really well, like the way that, you know, whenever the what burns up in the movie,
the brothel.
Is it the brothel that
the brothel burns down?
Yeah, like that shot.
Also the sake place.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like, both of those things. So like
I was scared for people's lives because
at first I thought people were drinking it, like getting under.
That would have been me.
Yeah, I mean,
just
shit. with some fucking like some like banda playing in the back, just like Modelo written on it. Come on, fool!
Maybe we should Photoshop that.
It's Sapporo time, man.
It's Sapporo time, fool.
No, but like the movement in those scenes is incredible, and it adds to the sense of panic. And of course, you know, a good director can direct a crowd. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
When there is commotion, when there is chaos, and it's handled well with a crowd, it makes a scene feel really real.
Well, it brings you in.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in both of those scenes, and with whenever they're about to fight each other, it's guys yelling at each other, and it's the movie is quiet when it needs to be, and when it's loud, it is.
Yeah,
it's like a powder keg.
Yeah.
So, let me touch on some observations I had from the start of the film. It's where one thing I put is, so like I mentioned how ahead of its time it was for attention to historical detail, right? And another great thing is like the casting, right? Mm-hmm. So people look like people, but there are also some interesting people, but also people look like people. You know, you don't have any of that, you know, American casting where you got like the 5 prettiest girls in the school and they're the nerd table. You know, there's very natural casting.
I particularly like the guy with the huge mallet.
Oh yeah, the guy with some form of like gigantism. And that guy was a great actor too.
It almost just felt like a video game showdown. There's just like this weird group of enemies.
Oh my god, my favorite was it the little brother of one of the gangsters with the chipmunk face? And
that guy was great. Yeah,
he was, man, he was on one. Like,
I can't remember his name.
One of the questions I had watching it: how old is Toshiro Mifune during this movie? He's fine as hell.
It's gotta be in his what?
I think he was like
early 40s,
early
late
40s.
Yeah.
One thing that I liked about the opening scene, or particularly the scene with the farmer and his wife,
the farmer yelling at his son who wants to run away.
But it's after that when the farmer is standing at the doorway.
Oh, and she's doing the silk thing,
and then she's inside and he's outside. The way that it flips between them, like the shots flip between, Mifune being in the foreground, him being in the back. It really is like theatrical staging.
He does that a lot in this movie. He has a lot of shots where someone's looking at the camera, the next person's looking away. Mm-hmm. And there's a shot where there's like 5 people, like one this way, one this way. It's really cool. He does that several times.
My favorite, one of my favorite shots I can remember off the top of my head is when they're looking through the bamboo, and they're inside, and they're looking across the street into another house.
Yeah. They're looking at the...
And it's all framed through the actual windows that they're looking... So it's a sub-framing of the shot.
Yeah. It's when him and the old man are looking through the window at the... not the constable or the sheriff. The... who is it that visits the town?
It's just like an inspector, right?
Yeah, it's like an inspector. Yeah, it's some sort of official. He has a palanquin that they carry him with.
Yeah.
But one of the first cool things, you know, when our hero, so we meet him. He's just very handsome. That's something else
I wanted to say, he exudes that stoic rogue nature.
Oh yeah.
That is my favorite kind of character.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's what most I think like straight men want, like idealize, like the male ideal.
You want to give off that vibe.
Is like, that's something like I bemoan in my own life, is that like I always want to be strong and silent.
Yeah.
But I am neither strong
nor
silent.
Whatever happened to the strong and silent guy?
Hey, whatever happened?
You fucking run off at the mouth, you know that?
But so, you know, you meet him, you know, you're getting introduced to how rough things are right now. So, and the first thing you see when he walks into the town street is the little puppy with the hand in his mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I wrote that down. He mentions hungry dogs.
Yeah. And there is a literal hungry dog. This is no metaphor. And then so, I think it's the constable who's one of the first people who he's met with. And the constable has seen this story before. And he's such a nice fellow, right? The constable.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like... Yeah, I know why you're here. You're a Ronin, you know?
Yeah.
All right, that gang's that way. That gang's that way. You know, these people are tied with that mafia. That group's with that mafia. Peace. And
it doesn't waste too much time introducing stuff. Like it gets to the point. It kind of throws you as the viewer in as quick as Mifune is thrown into it.
And you know what's great? It's like,
well, it's more like you just wandered into it.
Yeah.
Also, you know, talk about good visual storytelling 101. What does it do? It shows you. It doesn't just tell you. It just doesn't tell you, sit there and go like, oh, this is a town in 500 years. You know, they've been founded on silk production. 30 years ago, so-and-so moved in. And no, you come in, there's a hand in the dog's mouth.
I don't know if this would be the correct word for it, but I know it for audio. It's called diegetic audio. Like you don't hear a song in a movie unless it's being played in the movie, like in the environment the character.
Oh yeah.
So like I guess would that be like environmental storytelling or like diegetic storytelling? I don't know if diegetic is like an audio only term.
I think it is. I might remember the term later, but yes.
Yeah, we'll just go with environmental storytelling.
Well, environmental storytelling's, you know, particular to like great video games, you know, like Fallout and stuff. But I think even if it's not an academic term, you're using it great. Even it works just fine for this. But it's like, so he's like, there's gang on this end of the street, like Western style, right? The one main fucking street.
Yep.
Okay.
Completely empty.
Right. Go the fuck over there.
The people looking through the windows.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love
it. So cool.
So you go out. So he goes out there and he sees the hoodlums and they pop out, and they're the gamblers, and the guy's got the motherfucking dice tattooed on his face.
So good.
That's what I love. All the enemies are like all the bad guys. Just they're so eccentric and weird. It's just like video game mini bosses.
Yeah.
Or something.
And well, it's actually like that's some historical detail with the tattoos. So the tattoos were, so you guys kind of know the basis of Japanese feudal society, where you had the royalty, which were divine from the emperor.
Right.
Then you had the samurai who protected him and carried out his will, right? So they were the noble class, and then there were peasants below them. I think there was some form of untouchable because this was like a Buddhist society. And but there was a gambler class.
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
Yeah,
they referenced like specifically gamblers.
So they used that a lot because it was an actual caste system, more or less, that sprung up. And so the Yakuza, the Japanese Yakuza, is founded in the gambling caste from this exact same time period of the late Edo. And they signified themselves, and sometimes as criminals they were signified, with the tattoos. And then they in turn internalized that culture, and you have the famous Yakuza Japanese tattoos. But it all comes from the gambling caste system and their society. So that's like a really cool, interesting, true to history detail.
I never knew that.
Yeah, I love that when something's weird, but then you look it up, it's not just weird for the sake of being weird. It's just like that has some historical like significance to it. Yeah,
it'd be like you know, an Italian gangster maybe in the Gangs of New York era who had like a black hand tattoo. You know? Something really cool like that you could like pour into. But so doesn't he say fuck you guys when he sees the first gang?
Yeah.
He walks off, but then he decides to come back and fuck them up.
He tells the townspeople first. He's just like, does someone want to hire me? I want to kill some guys. And he goes back to the gang. Right?
He does something. He goes, turns around. They're like, yeah, you better run.
Yeah.
And then, I think what he does, he goes to, because they offend him, he goes to the other gang. He says, watch this.
Yeah.
And then he goes.
He's like, I need money.
Kills those four guys. He's like, all right, bring me to your leader.
Chops the guy's hand off.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Which is like, man, imagine being a moviegoer in 1961 and seeing that. Like,
it's gruesome.
Ooh. So, do you think that Mr. George Lucas was inspired by the lobbing of hands from the samurai movies?
There are a lot of hand loss
in Star
scenes.
Wars,
Yeah.
I mean, it's also like, I mean, it's
so
symbolic too.
But
like losing a hand.
But it's so
It's specific.
It can't be coincidental. Yeah, because it is specific. You don't have a whole lot of arms going off except in samurai movies
and in Star Wars.
And in Star Wars.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that.
Did I send you the picture of the samurai stormtroopers that I saw at Barnes and Noble?
Mm-mm.
I mean, they're fucking expensive, but I was just like, man, this is made for you.
Yeah,
it's really cool looking.
My brother bought me a shirt with a lot of that art.
Oh, actually,
but it's teal, so I'll never wear it.
Okay, I actually wrote down what he does tell the townspeople or the rival gang. I get paid to kill. I'll show you what I'm worth.
Damn, what a badass!
He has some cool. He has
a lot of cool lines. So when those guys are like messing with him, he's like, "I'm gonna have to kill you," and they're like, they say something back, and he just goes, "It's gonna hurt."
Yeah. He also says, "There's plenty of guys I have to kill" near the end of the movie. It's a good fucking line.
Mm-hmm.
There's some really good lines in this movie. Like, what's his name? Is Sanjuro the guy with the pistol?
No, that's the main guy.
Oh yeah, that's Sanjuro. What's the name of
Sanjuro? Just means 30, right?
It means no, it means like, doesn't he say his name is like old
30-year-old?
Yeah, San Ich ni San. I don't know what Juro means, but so that would make sense.
He said 30-year-old something farm.
Yeah.
No, for like a field of something.
Yeah, but then I also
Mustang.
Maybe I wish we had some way to
something
look
like
this up.
that. But there were several scenes where they said 30. What was the currency, Ryo or something?
Yeah,
and they said like Sanjuro.
Yeah,
Sanjuro means 30-year-old mulberry field.
Oh, okay, that's literally what he said.
Yeah. Damn, I wish my name was like that.
It's cool.
Yeah.
And he literally just gets at it by looking out the window.
Yeah.
I'm named after an aardvark. Shit's whack, guys. Chris is named after the savior of the universe. You're named after a guy who fought lions.
It's pretty cool.
I'm named after aardvark, B. This shit's whack.
Your parents saw that and were just like, that's what we'll call it.
That's what we'll call it. I like that. You know that show's still going?
Wait, really?
Yeah, it's up there with South Park and The Simpsons for the I think it is the longest running children's animated program.
Goodness.
Fuck that show. Anyway,
it's flash animated now. It looks like shit.
Oof.
There is no cure for fools. That's another good quote. Want to see something cool? Or want to see something interesting? And the guy with the revolver points the gun at the constable's face.
That guy definitely had a thing with that gun.
Yeah,
I like that guy.
Am I reaching?
No.
It
was an extension of himself.
Truly.
Yeah.
I mean, he dies with it in his hand.
Like, he can't just point. He has to point with the gun.
It's like very effeminate too, the way he does it. Just kind of squirms.
Well, it's very all wrist movement, right?
Yeah.
It's not forearm. He's
because he still has his arm tucked in his.
But man, I like the robes, bro.
Yeah,
like I like his robe, his yukata looking thing.
Yeah,
that thing was pretty cool.
That guy's also the main villain in Sanjuro.
Yeah,
strangely enough,
same actor. He gets beefier though.
Man, the ending of that movie is crazy.
Oh yeah,
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's great.
It's worth seeing just for the end.
Yeah.
And I'll say this now because I'm gonna say this about every movie. I wrote down
jarring.
No, I wrote down Sanjuro Big Boss
is Sanjuro Big Boss,
and the guy with the gun revolver Ocelot.
You know what? Come on. He does look more and more like Toshiro Mifune. Snake.
Yeah,
his character design.
He kind of does. Yeah.
Yeah. Like at first, it's definitely it's like Mel Gibson plus Stallone in the early art, and it gets more and more Mifune.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I can't deny the fact that, like, you know, another person who could probably be named as doing something, or here's what I'll say: Metal Gear is in the same way that Yojimbo is a love story to westerns. Metal Gear is a love story to like
military fetishization.
Sure, but like,
yeah.
You know what
American
I mean?
action films.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it's I would say that love letter is the wrong word. I think that Yojimbo is a pastiche of westerns. So I think Akira Kurosawa said, "I'm gonna do it better."
Yeah.
Okay.
And he did it earnestly, and he succeeded.
he took something that was already established and did it so well that people like took like lessons from him.
They're like, oh, that's better.
They're doing our own thing better than we did.
Yeah.
So in a way, like
with ponytails,
almost setting like the status quo from there on, or like the metric, or like the
baseline.
They raised the bar, changed the rules, everything. And then real quick on Metal Gear though, Metal Gear is, it's crazy because it is like you took a machine, you know, and you put in all the tropes from American action, spy thrillers, you know, political dramas, you know, you're from Air Force One to Rambo to Commando to the Sum of All Fears, and you just shook it up and
put an anime
and you give it to a 13-year-old Japanese kid and who only read manga and was like, all right, bro, tell this story. And he's like, got it.
And it's as insane as that sounds.
Yeah, because it's just like the regurgitation of all those cliches through like a very Japanese understanding.
Yeah, it's from a different lens.
Yeah, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
But at any rate, so let's not miss anything
focus here.
That we like. Okay, so boom. So he goes and he's hired by the first group. And it is a guy, his wife. Did you notice the wife had a face tattoo?
I did not.
I did not. No.
Yeah. And their son. And
who was the disappointment?
Yeah, but the wife, Orin, she's one of the only characters I remember their names, because as much as I like Japanese stuff, I have a very hard time remembering names. You know, it's very hard.
It's just so much different than the naming conventions we're used to.
It's like I'll watch a limited series that I'll love a lot, right?
Yeah.
In the Japanese language, can't remember dick as far as names go.
Yeah.
I can remember the pictures and the plot perfectly, but Orin, because she was a motherfucking gangster, dude. Yeah. Like she was
no good.
She was bad to the bone.
Wait, Orin?
Orin.
Hey, that's one of the names. That's Lucy Liu's character's name in.
Oh no
Kill
shit!
Bill, Orin Ishii.
Huh? Coincidence?
Well, I mean, they reference he references Yojimbo.
He does?
I mean, Kill Bill. In that movie, that part when the bride is fighting the 99 or what is it
oh yeah
the
we talked about this,
and
me and Danny watched the movie together,
and then do you remember that movie?
Yeah,
kind of well. Do you remember that part when she's done killing everyone
and there's just
that little
one
kid left?
88 guy left?
She smacks the fuck. She starts whipping his butt with a sword.
Go home to your mother.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with the
Yakuza. It's the same thing that Sanjuro does.
At the very end.
Like, go back to your life of eating gruel, or
go back to your mom.
Go back to your mom
and enjoy your life eating gruel.
Yeah.
And
the way he runs at him is like, boys shouldn't play with swords.
Yeah. No, that he legit told him that.
Yeah.
Like, because it
was really scary when he would run at people.
Oh yeah. Because if he did, they're dead.
Yeah.
And I like how the action moves. Like,
it's quick.
There wasn't
exactly. That's what it is.
Swashbuckling. You know, there's no swashbuckling. It is. He ducks.
He makes the right cut.
Yeah, and it makes you believe that it is a little far-fetched, but at the same time, he moves in a way where it's like...
It doesn't look choreographed necessarily. And to a point, it looks choreographed very well.
Right.
Where like a lot of old movies, you just like, okay, let's get through this.
It's efficient.
Yeah.
Right? So, when Sanjuro, he makes like a cut up, swings down at the next guy, pivots forward, stabs the next guy. Whereas if that was Luke Skywalker, or more accurately, Anakin from the prequels, he would have fwomp, 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 fwompity fwomp,
clashed lightsabers,
fwompity fwomp. Like it would have been a lot more extra. Whereas like a big thing about older samurai movies that were really glamorized, I guess also, you know, taking it to a more brutal, maybe a more bare version of the action, like. It's very important for you to know about the swordsman's style. Yeah. Right? This is so-and-so style. And they'll have some exposition about it. They'll have a very distinct stance with the sword, so you're like, oh yeah.
He's using that technique.
Yeah, of course, right? Oh, this looks like it could do some shit.
Yeah.
Sandro's just...
He's all business.
Well, I
all
mean,
business.
in that same vein, the Wild West media does some stuff like that. Like, one big trope is two samurais running at each other. They swing, nothing happens, and one falls.
One falls, yeah.
Yeah.
That's just like a high noon shootout. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's two guys waiting, one makes the right move. And it's gruesome and it's immediate.
Yeah.
And, you know, the combat in this movie is like that. Especially because, and the guy with the pistol mentions it whenever they do capture Yojimbo. He's just like, those cuts were too clean. You're the only one here who's that good with a sword.
Yeah.
And they make that clear.
Man, I wish I was
There's also...
cool and somebody would say some cool shit like that.
No one's killed someone like you've killed someone.
But, like, even something like that's,
right.
like akin to me, like, man, that's some really good, like, grilled chicken. Only you could grill this chicken, like, so good.
There was a grilled chicken that we found at the table.
Yeah.
It had to be yours.
It had to have been.
It had your signature.
Right, like...
your brand on it.
Doesn't everyone just long for, like, some sort of recognition?
Something-
even if it's
something
not,
like
like, killing people, but, like... Yeah, man.
Yeah. Bill, that's...
Like, I mean, you're just looking for a style.
Yeah, just to be a legend in one aspect.
Even
no
in
matter
your
how
friend
mundane.
group.
Even
Yeah,
in a
it's just
fleeting
like-
moment of time.
Just like, hey, Bill, you bringing your famous barbecue?
Hey, that's
You know what I
Bill's
mean?
barbecue.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I know that flavor.
Yeah.
Um,
To have a special chili. Like Kevin from The Office.
but no, I mean it's gruesome. Like it, and it's quick. It's
Yeah,
immediate.
Well, I like that there's no camera trickery either.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
that...
they filmed that, like, what you see happen, you know, those actors did that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it looks good.
It looks great.
There are a lot of old
Like-
movies with action scenes that don't hold up.
Yeah.
And a lot of movies that came out way after this that are just like, what were you guys doing? I include the Star Wars fight in A New Hope where Obi-Wan fights Darth Vader. It is one of the worst fights I've ever seen.
You know, like, I often forget how whack,
Yeah.
like, that fight is as a fight.
Yeah.
Like, as a moment, great. But as a fight, whack.
As a moment in your head,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, when Obi-Wan fights Darth Vader? Whoa.
And that's the thing.
And then you see it, they're just like standing around, like poking at each other.
Yeah, it's like they're old people swinging canes at each other. Like
Because they were.
Yeah,
Well-
they basically were.
well, but that's
Yeah.
the thing, right? Like, I don't think that was a point of the director. You know what I mean? That wasn't something that like George Lucas sat down and was like, maybe they're old. And
I think
maybe
it also
they're
had to do with technical limitations because they
That
had to
too.
animate the lightsaber.
Yeah, so they couldn't go
That's
hard
true.
in the paint.
Which, of course, they figured out over time because it does get a little more finesse.
Yeah.
With their...
Well, yeah, I mean, whenever Anakin and Obi-Wan fight like Darth Maul, like that is.
Well, yeah, but I mean in the original
oh, in the
trilogy.
original trilogy.
Like, the
Okay.
other fights are pretty well done compared to...
Yeah, I really like the last fight in Return of the Jedi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Especially when he's mad and he's...
Oh, in Palpatine's Palpatine's room,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's like beating down on Darth Vader.
Yeah,
That's
that's a great
really
moment.
cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to, like, say the action is done so well, especially when you think that this movie's, 57 years old?
And it communicates, like, badass to you.
Yeah.
Well, like, I feel like when I watch this with my kid when he's, like, maybe 10 or 11, he'd be like, whoa. Especially with how quick it is.
It's over in a second.
And you know what?
Yeah, like,
and
yes.
it adds something that you don't see. That I think, like, even me rewatching it, or, like, imagining my kid, where you go, whoa, because it is so no frills, you know? Where you're like, oh, they just died.
Yeah.
And it's not, he just slays them.
In a matter of about 2 to 3 seconds, he is looking at them, they are dead, and his back is turned.
Yeah, he's no Batman. He's a killer, and he said it. Like,
He
in the
kills
words
those
of-
3 guys and just walks away, like, he just turns his heel and, like, walks away.
He said, I ain't a killer, but don't push me. That's what he said. But, you know, let's see. Don't want to miss it.
Let me.
So he goes in, they hire him, he takes their money. Then Oren's too much of a gangster, and she's like, nah,
We're gonna kill him.
we're gonna kill
They
him.
paid him half,
Yeah.
kill him, and we'll just get it all back.
And
Half of
then
the job's done.
he walks out the front, throws the money in their face,
Yeah.
and then proceeds to go back to the other gang And then he's hanging out with them for a while until he learns about a beautiful daughter of a local, I can't remember if he's a silk maker or a sake maker, but just like a regular guy, he has a beautiful wife, and a rich person who's affiliated with them. The owner of the sake brewery, I believe, is a lecher. And like, as being, allying themselves with that part of their mob, they stole his wife and they let that old rich man fuck her. And then Sandro, like, here's the thing, like, for all his posturing of being like an anti-hero, he's got such a pure heart.
Yeah.
Like,
but he does it with disinterest.
Well, it's like not only does he save the wife of the man, but then he gives them all 30 Rio that he has, and he just with like nothing, take it. Here's the thing, like, I like to think that I would like do something heroic or nice, but the thing is like, I have a feeling maybe that's like $1,000 or $10,000.
Yeah, I don't know.
In their version, right? A Rio. Like, enough to risk your life.
It was
over.
A lot because someone wanted to pay him like 3 for the job.
Right. And you remember when they talked about killing the guy? It's like, what did they pay you to?
Yeah.
Dude, they only paid us like 800.
Yeah.
So like 0.8 of a Rio. So like, in my mind, it's like 1,000 to 10,000, maybe close to 1,000. But he just takes all of it and just says, give it to them. Yeah, like, I'm saying is like, even if I was brave enough to do that, I'd be like, here's 5.
Yeah, you'd still pocket the money, like most people would. But like,
here's a 5. Yeah,
here's some bus fare. Get out of here.
Here's a 5 skis. But like, even 5,000 of my 30,000, I'd be like, that was pretty cool of me. Whereas he's like, take all of it. Yeah. Boom. And but they pay him back for it. They capture him because, like we said, oh yeah, he goes in that house and just murks all those people, and then you just see it's a bloody mess.
Oh yeah,
like after he's done with them, like the sentry guards, and that seems so cool because you don't know his plan.
Yeah,
he gets her out, and he says something, and he mentions the guards. Oh, doesn't he say like, oh, somebody's killed the guards?
Yeah,
and then he goes and kills the guards. Yeah, that's what it is. He finds a sentry outside and goes, hey, something happened to the guard. Don't look. Go tell him now. Yeah. And then in the time he's scheduled for that guy to go tell them across the street, he goes in
and does all this shit
and kills them. They say, "Oh man, this sword work was too clean." Yeah. The guy picks him out. They capture him and proceed to beat the ever living shit out of him. And then what happens next? Oh, they beat him up. How does he get... Is it when they raid the brothel? How does his friends help him escape? Because he's on his last breath. Oh, he hides in the trunk.
Yeah.
And then he comes a knocking.
He just sneaks out because people are looking for him.
Gigantor throws him across the room.
Oh, yeah.
Like Andre the Giant. That looked like that hurt. I don't think they had stunts for that.
Yeah, probably not.
It just looked painful. Like some Eric Andre shit.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I thought when he was like, after he killed the guards and he was like breaking everything.
Yeah. That. I mean, imagine reshooting that.
Yeah.
Like, imagine fucking one thing up and you're one of the stagehands and they're like, you gotta put these bamboo shoots up, man. Sorry.
Damn. I think that was one of those
seeds. You gotta sweep this, dude.
No fuck up moments. It was like, either we get this or we don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're canning the movie if you don't do that.
It's also really cool how he sliced through those ropes. Like, he sliced through like 3 different ropes in one swing.
Oh yeah, that was all like the actor, doing everything on some
very well done
on some Tom Cruise, Keanu Reeves shit.
Yeah.
Also doing his own stunts and
yep.
like that's what you call a Hollywood man.
Oh yeah.
And but so what happens? He feigns death.
He goes to hide with
his friends help him out, and so he's recovering. I'm guessing he's recovering, and then he's gonna bounce when he gets better. But you see him with the knife he stole.
Yeah.
Just throwing it at the leaf that just
Yeah.
goes with the wind.
Yeah, that was cool too.
Yeah. And we're like, oh, he's about to do it. He's gonna do it. You know what he reminds me of? Have you heard of the historic samurai Miyamoto Musashi?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I've read all about him actually.
Yeah. So Miyamoto Musashi, like something that, like, embodying the essence of a samurai without being dogmatic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, without being dogmatic when it comes to honor or whatever that means, right? But, like, being of true essence of a samurai. So, like, Miyamoto Musashi would, like, pull up to a fight and, like, fuck with people. But he did it because it was life or death.
Yeah.
And that was the essence of what a samurai was all about originally, which was being a sword for hire, a professional warrior. And so, he embodies that, where it's not like he's like, oh, I gotta figure out a way to beat him just with my sword,
Yeah.
with a super extra cool technique. No, he's just like, nah, I'm gonna catch him off guard, I'm gonna throw this fucking knife at him, and it's over.
Yeah.
And so when he goes to rescue...
literally knife to a gunfight, by the way.
Yeah, and he wins. But that was awesome, right? Like, even how that, like, just quick action pans out in the in the movie. Just he's like, okay, I gotta duck, chunk it, then fuck him up.
Yeah.
And that's what happens.
Cool shit.
I like how that guy, he says, like, I need my gun, I feel naked without it, or whatever. And he trusts him enough to, like, give it to him, but he's too weak, and, like, the gun goes off, like, in the dirt.
Yeah.
I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
That shot of Mifune looking down at him, and, like, the blood is, like, pouring out as he's talking to him. Oh my god, like...
Yeah, especially because this is probably the earliest level of, like, cinematic graphic violence. Yeah. Like, we're using blood artistically.
Yeah.
Like what you were saying, Daniel, about even when they're still, there's some sort of movement. Whether it's water trickling in the background.
You see the blood, like, kind of pool out from his neck.
That's...
so cool.
Yeah, the movement. And it's like...
it's interesting to look at. It's like adding a cigarette to a, like, static scene.
Yeah.
Just add something to it.
Yeah.
Right, of course. But overall, that was Yojimbo.
Do you remember his last words?
I came here to kick ass and chew bubblegum.
No, he literally just says, see you around, then walks away.
Yeah.
And then it says the end.
Yeah.
I love that.
One scene we missed, probably one of the funnier things. Whenever they convince the younger brother, the gangster, to, like, carry him to the dead body in the urn.
What a dolt.
He's just like, no, you gotta get back. You gotta find Sandro. He's like, oh shit, my brother's gonna kick my ass. And he runs off.
Yeah.
Do you guys like cowboys or samurai better?
Oof.
I think I like samurai better.
Wow.
Well, it's like
Yeah, like the way you lean back when you said that.
Well, it's like there's a lot of good versions of both and a lot of shitty versions of both.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Okay, the essence then, like the idea.
The essence. I'd say samurai because a cowboy is a ranch hand. You know?
Yeah.
Well, and in that case, do you mean cowboy in the sense of, like, the Lone Ranger, lone gun cowboy?
I think that's...
Yeah.
I think that's what you mean.
Like, do you like the lone wolf cowboy or the lone wolf samurai better?
Man, they're...
Because I want to go ahead and throw my 2 cents in. I think this movie made me like the samurai better. Because I like you were saying, samurai, like, they have this nobility to them even though they're, like, they don't have an allegiance to something.
Well, a Ronin doesn't, which is what Sandro is, a masterless samurai. Which all good samurai, well, a lot of good samurai movies are
about Ronin.
Masterless samurai.
Well, like, what I like about him is, like, specifically Sandro in this movie is when business needs to get done, he's gonna do it.
Yeah.
But, like, everything in between, he's gonna take it as easy as possible.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, when they're explaining, like, the whole conflict of the town in the restaurant, he's just, like, eating rice and, like, looking up every once in a while. He's like, whoa. Okay.
well, you know what that's accurate to? It's like, cowboys are more working class than samurai. Mm-hmm. Samurais are nobles, but they also happen to be nobles who are good at killing.
Yeah.
So he's, like, approaching things with, like, the disinterest of somebody, but at the same time, it's like, and the one pocket skill I have is fucking murder with the sword. Like, whereas, like, that is kind of funny because he's just like, yeah. You know, like a computer programmer walking into, like, a bunch of guys talking about, you know, rebuilding an engine. That's like his attitude.
And, well, like, one of the funnier things about the sequel, Sandro, is that, like, in every key scene where, like, everyone else is busy out, like, doing stuff, he's asleep in the temple.
Yeah.
They wake him up over and over.
Yeah. But that's a good question, cowboys and samurais. So, like,
I would say they both have an essence of, they're both characters built on a certain level of morality. You know what I mean? Like, a cowboy, especially, like, a Clint Eastwood type cowboy, or even before him, it's about goodness. It's about, like, doing the right thing.
I was gonna say, Daniel, have you seen the Dollars movies?
I have not.
I was gonna say, because
Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is
you're
all
starting
about,
off on the wrong
foot. Good, the Bad, and the
he's
Ugly is all about them. It's like three people trying to find treasure, and that's it, really. That's the story.
Never mind.
He's like...
Okay, then I'm thinking John Wayne cowboy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Roy Rogers. I could think of some other ones.
But, you know, it's about a certain level of rightness that needs to be... Or the point of a cowboy, I guess, talking specifically John Wayne cowboy, or, like, classic cowboy, like
white hat.
Yeah,
white hat.
It's about correcting a wrong. It's about correcting an injustice.
Yep.
Whereas
bringing justice to a lawless frontier.
Yeah. And a samurai, and especially Yojimbo, seems a little. It seems like you were saying you stumble upon it.
He's just like a wayward sword.
Yeah.
Well, and I guess why I prefer the samurai thematically. Maybe, I don't know, because, like, I like westerns, but, like, my favorite westerns, it's not like you're just watching, like, straight up cowboys.
Yeah.
You have bandits, you have mercenaries, you have military men.
Yeah.
So, like, my favorite ones don't even have, like, a traditional white hat cowboy, you know? But I can think of a lot of samurai movies where there is a samurai. Okay. And, like, so first things first, if you're comparing them, so you have the thematic versions, and then you have the real life versions, in which the real life samurai obviously beat real life cowboys because cowboys is a profession of a ranch hand. Samurais were actual warriors,
train killers.
Yeah, especially when there were times of war. There were times of fat bureaucratic samurai and times of peace, but even there were still the ones who were like the police or, you know, bodyguards enforcers. Yeah. And they were still...
I mean, isn't that what Yojimbo
martial
means,
artists?
bodyguard?
Yeah.
Yes. And it also means a Final Fantasy X.
Yes, it is.
So,
I think that's the meaning they were going for.
I think so. But...
You know what? You know why I think I watched this movie? I just remembered. I was playing... This makes sense now. Yeah. I played Final Fantasy X, or replayed it, last year in, like, November, because you had asked me when I watched Yojimbo the first time. And I was like, man, Yojimbo, that's a movie, isn't it? Then I looked it up and I watched it after that.
Yeah. But you know, like, both of them, though, like, there's a lot of good samurai, there's a lot of bad samurai. Samurai are often the villains, they're also the good guys, just like in a cowboy movie. The bad guys, I guess, are cowboys, the good guys are also cowboys. Yeah. So it's like they have so many similarities. But
I think
I'd rather take the warrior over the ranch hand.
Right.
I guess.
I think it was
it's more romantic.
Mifune's characterization of that particular brand of samurai is what pushed it over the edge for me.
Yeah. But and I can think of a few other good ones.
Well, I mean, like,
but there are some bad
samurai are in a lot more of a gray area than cowboys might be, because, you know what I mean, a rogue cowboy, like, you know, the sort of ghost that haunts a town whenever he comes in. Oh, he's the killer, he's the or whatever, and then a good cowboy kills him or corrects that. You know?
Yeah.
You know, Marty Robbins' Big Iron.
He's got the big iron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And samurai seems a lot more in the middle of those two. You know what I mean? But
I don't know. Because they both can be in the middle.
Yeah.
Just like they can both exist on, the gray spectrum. Mm-hmm. But what I like is also, I guess, so another samurai story that's really good is Lone Wolf and Cub, which is a manga that's very literary. It was started in the 60s, I think. And it's about a samurai who, he was the executioner for a lord. And he was so skilled that the Lord was afraid of him, and he sent soldiers to his house to kill him and his wife. He happened to not be there. His son survived, and him and his son just go on a vengeance quest, just killing. And so it's just there is no quest for the rule of law in this town or whatever or something. It's just vengeance. They're trying to kill him, he's trying to kill them, and it's pretty sweet. And he kills all his agents and stuff, and he takes his son on this vengeance quest. There's like a great scene where he puts a little play ball next to him and the samurai sword, and his son's like 1.5 or 2, and that his decision is, if he picks the ball, then in his heart he's not ready for this epic journey of vengeance, and he's gonna kill his son.
Jeez.
And send him back to his mom. He's better off there. But the son, the baby, goes to the sword, and he's like, all right, let's do this, baby. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Check out Lone Wolf and Cub, or the movie version, Shogun Assassin.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Great pick, Chris.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Really, really, really fantastic.
I'm super stoked to watch Sandro again now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to watch it for the first time.
You can borrow it.
Yeah, all right.
All right.
Dan's like, I'm gonna watch it.
I bought Seven Samurai, and I bought another movie. I can't remember the name, but it starts with a K.
Kill?
No, it's another one of his movies.
Kojimbo.
Kagemusha?
Yes, I have that.
Kagemusha takes place in the Sengoku, so there's large-scale battles. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Even when he does color, it's pretty cool. But he gets a lot more experimental.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited. I just want to see like how his technique develops over time.
Yeah,
I really want to buy his whole
means
filmography. Honestly, just watch
his whole means of expression changes. He begins very, like PTA-ish. It's very like here an almost mundane story, and the reality of the characters is very important. And then, so that's his whole life in the 50s, like his whole decade. And then he just kind of gets more stylized and esoteric as time goes on. To the point where there's like dream sequences in some later movies.
Well, he has a movie called Dreams, which is like just based on vignettes of his dreams, right?
Oh, cool.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen that either.
But I would like to see it.
Yeah.
Cool. Great pick.
Thank you.
It's a cool movie.
So it is a cool movie.
Great talk.
I will say, Chris, one of the movies I did have lined up that I am not going to choose because it's too similar, but it has nothing to do with your movie. Have you ever seen the movie Rango?
I haven't seen it.
With the lizard.
With the little lizard with the crooked neck?
Yeah. Really, really good movie. Incredibly underrated.
I like that movie.
It's a cowboy movie.
I saw it once. I was like, I like that movie.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was really good.
I like the rattlesnake.
I didn't want another
Western.
So I guess I'll transition into...
All right. Is Daniel with the 1s and 2s?
I'll transition into my pick. Much in the same vein that Art wanted to do something completely different.
Nice.
I did too.
Cool.
How many PG-13 movies have we had?
None.
What was Young Frankenstein?
PG.
That was PG?
Yeah.
Well, I guess at the time,
PG-13 came with Gremlins. In the
80s. I want to say with inflation, Young Frankenstein is PG-13.
Yes.
Cool.
Young Frankenstein is
much like Jaws.
With inflation, PG-13. But also it's not. But yeah.
Cool. Well, this is the first movie we have that's
PG-13.
That's of its rating, and it's not PG-13.
Wait.
Or PG.
Oh, shit.
Or rated R.
Is it G?
It's rated G.
Damn it.
Nice.
Not interested.
I'm talking about a 2005 movie. It is the second highest grossing film of its kind.
Ooh.
It is a British movie directed by Nick Park and Steve
thought it was
Box.
going to be The Incredibles.
No. It's a movie directed by Nick Park and Steve Box. It made $192 million at the box office. With a $30 million budget.
Okay, hold on. 2005.
Mm-hmm.
G.
I have no idea.
The second highest earning movie.
English. Not Irish.
Not Irish.
Okay, because I was going to say The Secret of Kells, but...
No. but you're thinking somewhere in that direction.
English.
This production studio has 3 of the 5 top earning movies in its category.
I know.
What's the movie?
It's Wallace and Gromit.
It's Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
Hell yeah.
Whoa. Okay, I didn't see that coming.
It's 2005 Aardman Animation's film. It's the second highest grossing claymation movie after Chicken Run, which they also.
Oh.
Well,
man, I saw Chicken Run in theaters.
Bro, lucky.
I think
I had to get that on VHS.
I think the third one is Coraline. The fourth one
I hated the way that movie looked.
The fourth one is this one pirate movie that was also made by Aardman.
Yeah, that movie sucked. I saw that.
And then the fifth one was
Love Chicken Run.
It was also their movie. I'm trying to remember which one. Oh no, it was a different studio. It was I think Kubo and the Two Strings.
Kubo's the same company as Coraline.
Yeah, so there's kind of a dominant market. I mean, there's kind of dominant production
was
teams.
really cool.
It's a movie that's near and dear to my heart because when I was younger, my mom used to have Wallace and Gromit VHSs. Wallace and Gromit started as a series of mini videos, mini movies that starred Wallace, a British inventor, and Gromit, his non-talking dog. Although, why would a dog talk? But the dog is brilliant. Some might say a better inventor than Wallace.
Mm-hmm.
This movie is fantastic. It's incredibly well animated. In terms of visuals, I think it's the best looking claymation movie ever
stop
made.
Motion.
Yeah. It is 100% stop motion.
Would you describe it as erotic?
That's for the after show.
No, that was jarring.
But that's my pick. It was between that one and another claymation movie.
That's a great idea.
We have not seen an animated movie, and we have not seen a claymated movie. Clearly.
Damn. I got beat to the animated punch.
Yeah. I will say it beat out another claymated movie that I was thinking about, Fantastic Mr. Fox by Wes Anderson, which movie. I think is a really good movie, but that movie's PG.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be funner watching this, to be honest.
This movie does some really...
I got more Wes Anderson-isms still clinking around the top of my head, where it's like, I just remember that movie was good. Their movies always get pretty good reviews, except for the Pirates one. That one sucked balls. And it was like, I probably saw that the year it came out, and I don't remember it at all, like 12 years later.
Yeah, I think I might have seen it too.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything about it.
It's really good. It's rated G, but it's definitely not starving for some attention from parents. I mean, they definitely serve parents.
What about non-parents like me and Chris?
I as well. All
right.
And you?
Not me.
Whoa.
No, but that was my choice, and I'm really excited to watch it again. I really like this movie. I really like Aardman Animations. It's just a really well executed movie, and I think y'all will like it too.
I'm gonna love it, and my wife's gonna love it too.
Where can I see this?
You can see this.
I
can ask my parents. They have the DVD.
I don't want a Young Frankenstein y'all to get.
No, I found it great.
Yeah.
Didn't have to pay for it.
My parents have it on DVD. But if that's the case, I can honestly check.
I'm sure it's somewhere.
I can check Netflix.
Oh man, I have to cancel my
Stars. You're paying for Stars?
Yeah, I need to cancel it.
I canceled mine. I canceled mine the day after I watched
that movie. Fuck! It's been 5 days.
Just like, well, it's time to watch some Affair.
Oh yeah.
Wallace and Gromit. Let me see if it's. Oh, well, Chicken Run is on Netflix.
Always the Chicken Run, never the Gromit.
Fucking Chicken Run.
We'll find it.
Yeah, we'll find it.
We'll make do.
I'm very excited to watch this movie again. I remember really enjoying it, and it's.
When's the last time you saw it?
I saw it back in I would say maybe, I think it's been 10 years, but I saw it enough because my mom really likes the movie.
Alright.
I saw it enough to still remember a lot of the details.
And I'm gonna call my shot for after your movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what yet at all. I just know that this will maybe be our last podcast we do, and then I'll go on my trip to Germany.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna pick a German movie.
Ooh,
fuck you. Damn it! That is literally my next movie.
Oh yeah?
I already have it here. I told you. I ordered it. I was like, hey, I had to wait like a month to get this. No.
You suck, Art.
No.
I drink your milkshake.
Should have put you in a glass jar.
Damn. Oh man.
No, it can't be.